a document signed by even with the Norway guys who provided the good offices to sign it, and I will consider it. But do not make too much demands because I am the republic and you are the rebel. And if you are not ready to accept that kind of mindset at this time, I am ready to, terminate the talks. You don't make so much demands that are really we have to consider the views of the military and the police. And I have to be not really fair, but some sort of a tactical move that would be understood by all, including, I said, the military and the police, and 130. And also, today we took consideration of the Mauti rebellion going on in Lanao. And they said that they are willing to pull out. By the way, Ben, my classmate, he helped me a lot. Tony Lopez is a classmate of mine. I think you ought to be. And they demanded that we stop the offensive. They are there in the forest, I don't know where. And I said they would stop fighting, provided we stop the offensive or not. They said that they will go down upon Marawi to burn the place. And I said, go ahead. Do it. We need to do a lot of constructions in this country. There are a lot of materials there, and we would be glad to rebuild and rehabilitate every structure that you destroy. As long as it's confined in the areas of Lanao, I don't really care. So I said, no, I will not stop the operation. As a matter of fact, we'll go ahead and that's stupidity of it. Well, anyway, I reckon that you did not maybe listen to my campaign. I was just an ordinary guy. Part of the establishment is but coming in from the cold because I was not a national figure. And I hardly, except for Rudy, who's also my classmate. Those are the guys that I see now. My crowd was very limited. I'm a provinciano, a hillbilly style that's from the province. And I said, the only guys that I know would really be the Davaoeños. For example, Sonny Dominguez, who's there. Are you really, you want to go home ahead? Go, we grew up together. We grew up together, actually. He's my childhood friend, and he was our consistent valedictorian from kindergarten to maybe college because I was left behind. It took me 7 years to finish high school. That's why. And Rudy is a cum laude, and also Ruben. I got only 78, but it's okay. It's historical, actually. Since grade 1, it's always in the line of 7. I never got a grade. Few times. College of Law, yes. I remember criminal procedure. Berne Fernandez. I just appointed his son to take his place in the Sandigan. But in high school and college, mostly 78, 79. But it was okay. I survived it along the way. But I got the best of the minds. Tugade is a billionaire, actually, and I think he was the valedictorian of the class. And a lot of them are really with honors, graduated with honors. And sadly, even Sonny, who was the voice of America champion during our time, national. uh, from studied abroad, and all the guys, all the bright guys are actually working for me. They're just my, you know. When the 75 talks, the 95 listen. That is good. That's the quirks of life, really. But let me dwell first on, we're getting short of time. Let me dwell on what I promised the people of the Republic of the Philippines. I said that I will end corruption. And I'm doing everything, actually. And if there's consolation to you, I have opened the PTV of the government. There's a time there after the news. It's only a plain screen, and you can call 8888, and you tell me what the problem is. Text it. I will read it. You might want to just also not divulge your. It's okay with me. Tell us the office that you're dealing with, and the guy that is pestering you. Tell me about your complaints, and I will act immediately. So, in that way, the people of the Philippines would see who are the corrupt officials of this government. I am really bent on giving this country a respite of this so many years under a corrupt administration. I am not the nice guy in the neighborhood, but I feel that at this age, at 72, I'm about to end my. I've been mayor of Davao City for 23 years, a congressman, and a vice mayor to my daughter. I feel that this is would really be my last hurrah, and I'd like to give the country what they have been desperately craving for, and that is a government at least with less corruption, or none at all, but it's hard thing to do. And so I'm doing everything. And I just fired about 92 officials of the LFTRB and LTO. It's because of this regulation. If I were to make a choice, actually, I would maybe order the least intervention of government into the private lives or sectors. The more regulation, there's more corruption. It's actually a temptation to corruption. And so when I became president, and this is the rule, when I was mayor, I applied for a small railway to run the Davao City streets because it's really congested. And you know what? I applied in NEDA because you have to get the approval of NEDA without a sovereign guarantee. Took them about until now to draw to the basket. Takes you about 3 to 4 years. It's because of corruption. When I became president, all of them, Rudy and the rest, Sonny, said, all the departments, you only have 1 month. Either you approve it or disapprove it, but do the action within 1 month. And for the local governments, I said, I'm not pulling my own chair, but follow the practice of Davao. All of the things there, for example, a business permit, electrical connections and everything, 3 days. Now, if you feel that you're getting the go around, you are free to come here. Just make an arrangement. You have or secretaries for the technology, or anybody you know in government. I'm sure you know Bing Bong, the executive secretary. If you want, I said, if you're getting the go around, give me your papers here in Malacanang, and I will do the follow-ups. I'll give it to the secretary because they have 1 month to act on it. So that's it. If you do not have faith in a certain department because you have a horrible experience there, and if you think that you have antagonized some people there, give me your papers, and I will do the walking for you. Simple as that. I am, there are things cropping up now. You will hear it, but we're still investigating. And I said that there can never no friendship in this kind of setup. This is not mine to give. As you are wont to say, if you are there in public service, I would not brook any kind of. Just tell me. You're free to do it either through a letter or whatever, or to Peter. I'm sure he would do it for his country. He's a Filipino. He is already a Filipino. Just give him a memo or a syllabus of the things that have been happening, and I would be very glad to take it on from you. This is the guarantee that now, as I said, no corruption. The slightest whip of to feel that you're being milked or you're being, even just, I will take it from there. I have a list of persons who are in the, sadly, these guys were assigned in Davao, and I know that he was corrupt. He's assigned elsewhere, but I had a report from the National Intelligence, it's the intelligence body of the government, that this guy working for the BIR is corrupt. So I'll just bring it up with Billy Dulay. Billy Dulay is, he's from Baguio, and he stayed in the YMCA dormitory where I was hosting. He was with Belio. And I was, my roommate was Yasai. I'm quite surprised now because whenever there's a new meeting, I would hear this guy, well, I just reported from Washington, and things that I would have to do, and I'd be back because there's another conference. Who is this guy talking? Is he an American? Throw him out. Only Filipinos allowed there. But no, if he was talking about it, was really from Washington. They say, oh, he's an American. Pagtingin ko siya sa'yo pala. But he talks like really, he has that drawl. I don't know where he got it, but he didn't have it during my college days. There was terribly wrong somewhere. What I know is that during the martial law years, he was one of those to be arrested by the military. He was in the list. And he was able to escape on time together with Maceda. And they practice law in America. That's what I've heard. So no wonder this guy talks like, but of course he's been used to it because he's teaching in the Western universities. He's quite an accomplished lawyer, actually. He's bright. But he works for me. He takes orders from me, from the 75. Now, let me go to this issue of extrajudicial killing. You know, I said I will try to stop corruption. I will deal with the drugs harshly. That's my word. And if you're listening to the debates during the 3 rounds of debates during the campaign, that's what I said. I would be harsh. And criminality. Now, I was very strict in Davao about criminality. And I was a prosecutor for almost 8 years doing trial work. I was teaching criminal law, criminal evidence, criminal procedure in the police academy. So it would not surprise you that when I came to the office of the mayor, I was quite really, given my background, I was very strict. And Davao City at that time was a very troubled place. 7 o'clock, and you can ask anybody from Davao. It's everybody's asleep. There was not a single entertainment house there, except for the bars in the slum areas. And there were a lot of killings, military men killing the NPAs and MPAs. They were being killed left and right. We used to lose in Davao City 2-3 policemen a day. So when I became mayor, I had to tackle the problem of law and order. And the first thing I did was really to talk to the communists. And I told him that, I do not want a quarrel with you. We became friends because when I was a prosecutor, I was only assigned 3 cases to handle. Because nobody would touch the case with the 10-foot pole. And that was military offenders, police offenders, and rebellion. Those were the only things that I had to worry when I was a prosecutor. I was not assigned to any other cases because nobody, I said, would touch the rebellion cases, especially against the military. So they know me well because most of the policemen were also my students. So when I became mayor, I told you, I was prosecuting the rebellion cases. So that whenever there's a hearing, we became fast friends because, you have to be courteous to everybody. And I would go to them and shake their hands. So when I was appointed OIC vice mayor, I was taken out from the prosecutor's office. And they made me OIC vice mayor of Davao City. That was when Corazon Aquino ordered the release of all political prisoners. And you know what happened? They all came to me and said, we need your help because we cannot go anywhere anymore. So I provided them on all the jobs. And Ivasco, the cabinet secretary, he was an NPA together with another priest, Father Tizon, of Leyte. They went to Mindanao to become NPAs. And they were chanced upon by the scout rangers and arrested. And they were about to be. And so when I learned, because I was the only one also assigned to do the preliminary investigation, and somebody said, better hurry because they call it salvage. It's not a ship to be salvaged, but the term is salvage is to do him in. And I said, look, guys, he's a priest. Do not do it. No. Do not do it. And so eventually, he said when he was released, he went to my office. But he's a priest and he's good at organizing. He became my technical assistant. When I was elected mayor, he was my chief of staff for so many years. Then eventually he went back to his home province in Bohol and became the mayor of his municipality. And now he's a secretary of the cabinet of this republic. That's how it is. So, but at that time, I told him to talk to your group. Say, I do not want to fight with you. But if you continue assassinating police and military men, there will come a time when we'll have to face each other. And I just hope that, it would not be a violent one. But since I am the mayor, I have to guarantee to everybody that. And so with the criminals, I said, it's a very simple question. Do not do it in my city. If you destroy my city, I will kill you. And I told the drug industry people, do not do it here in Davao City. Because if you deprive society of the next generation of the youth, I will kill you. It is a matter of preserving people. And I was talking about it, I was only a mayor. So when I became president, I made the same statement. And you guys are lawyers. There's nothing wrong in saying that if you destroy my country, I'll kill you. If you destroy the youth of the land, I will kill you. And so, it's a threat. If you are committing a crime, if you're destroying my country, you are a threat, and I could do away with you. And that is what was being used by, she's mouthing it almost every day she gets the chance to say something. The wife of Samson, the wife of Samson. Look, guys, you know the Philippines. I'm sure you were here already. I was adopted by the PDP, a moribund political party. It was not really moving except for the father and son, Pimentel and the Senate President. I became the candidate. I only had 2 governors in the entire Philippines. Maybe 3, but only 2 really confirmed it. 2 ladies, Jaime Marcos and 1 lady in Mindanao, and only because of love. And I didn't have a single barangay captain or even a city mayor. Even in my own region of Davao, which was used to be one Davao, no governor supported me. And in the Visayas, I'm zero. Even in my father is Cebuano. Even in his hometown, our hometown, the Duranos were for Po. So after the elections and when the results were, and I asked my wife, I didn't have any money. And everybody will tell you that I did not. There are some. I'm not trying to offend you. I'm not. Wala akong. Because I had this belief that I do not want to be burdened with anything. And yet I won, and by a margin of 6 million. Saan ito galing? Where did this come from? I never talk about any leader of giving money to run the campaign. All I did was to go around the country with the money that was, Sunny Dominguez was one of the financiers. But because he was my classmate. And I said, there must be something in this. I could only attribute it to God. So my victory really was a destiny. And so to all the people that are really urging, may ouster, kung kudeta here, impeachment, go ahead. Because if I am ousted or impeached or whatever, that is part of my destiny. It only means that God made me president, but he said, you'd only be president for 2 months, 6 months, 1 year. I have no illusions about being ousted. I'm old and I do not crave for power. As a matter of fact, I am almost saying that do not be offended, you guys, Filipinos. If I were to get back in time, I would not. Yun lang. Kung pabalikin ako sa kahapon, ayaw ko na. I mean, I think I have no use for it actually. Without saying that kayo nangailangan sa akin, it's not that, but personally, I have no use for the presidency anymore. I'm tired of politics. You know, I have enough adulation and the clapping of the hands for 40 years of my political career, excluding this one, which is 6 years. I have enough of that praises and everything to last me a lifetime, to make me happy. I do not really, personally now, come to realize, need to be president. But what prompted me to run was because I was looking at the political landscape and nobody there was talking about Mindanao. They were talking about technology and improvement, infrastructure, mounting all the promises that a politician usually gives. But nobody was really very serious about Mindanao and drugs. Because when I was mayor, I was really very strict. And if you'd ask me that were there some dead persons along the way, yes, of course. When you fight crime, there is always that, but you know, if you are asking me now if I killed people on bended knees with their hands tied at their backs, that is not mine. That is not mine. Remember, I mentioned during the campaign that there are police generals into drugs, and you might want to resign just in case I become the president because I will mention you publicly. And if you're kindly remember, about a few weeks before I became, I took my oath of office, especially, became the president. There were already so many killings every day. Go back in time for me and read the newspapers at that time. It's very easy. You can, there's the new technology. You can just backtrack. Why? Why was there a widespread killing? And even after I became president, you should know the answer. We do not, we do not wrap people with plastic tape. We are not producing mummies in the Philippines for export. So what? Those are indications of torture. But why would we torture when we are going to arrest you because you are committing a crime? There's no need for you to torture. Or you just shoot him, fine, with the one bullet at the head. Why go into this charade of wrapping people? It will indicate that there are tortures and forcing people to say something. Maybe who are the people that you have talked to about this industry? But I must admit that a third of the killings really happened during police encounters. And I know it because I'm not trying to pull my own chair. But in Davao, I used to do it personally, just to show to the guys that if I can do it, why can't you? And I go around Davao with a motorcycle, with a big bike, and I would just patrol the streets and looking for trouble also. Tagla naghanap ako ng inkwento para makapatay. Yung what happened now is not. But they say that if I'm afraid to stop because of the human rights and guys from including Obama, sorry, I'm not about to do that. You arrest me, oust me, go ahead. So God said that you're mayor, but you have been given a mission to do something. But it's only up to there. So fine. Oust me, good. Assassinate me, better. I have this migraine every day. I had a bad sleep. The last one was this, and I hit the cement. I have a lot of issues with my spine. So my doctor would want to operate, but my wife was a nurse, and she used to work in the United States, and she said there's a lot of operations of the spinal that went awry, that went wrong. And she did that. So that if you guys see me always on the sad note mode and actually pushing a nerve here to relieve the pain. And even when I'm doing the arms akimbo and sometimes I do this, it's actually pushing something here to relieve the pain. I cannot afford the operation. It's not because I do not have the money. I have the money to pay for it. It's because my wife said that one nerve cut is you're dead forever. So those are the issues that I cannot decide by myself because I'm married to someone who says that I should not have it. And I used to press something here, fentanyl. It's a painkiller. It's being used by patients with cancer. I was only given a fourth of that square thing. There was a time that if I put two, yeah, but not no more because well, of course, my doctor learned that I was using the whole patch because I felt better. When he knew it, he blew his stop and I said, "Stop it." The first thing that you would lose is your cognitive ability. And if you're noticing it, he said, it will be because you are, abusing the drug. Take Jessic, but I have a pain also with I have a Barrett, esophageal thing. It's the GERD, call it. And I have, might as well tell you about my medical history. Don't believe in cancer. What I have is really Berger's disease. It's an acquired thing that you get from smoking because of nicotine. Nicotine constricts the vessels. Alcohol dilates the vessel. So you can lose just like diabetes, you can lose your punch and even your thing there, doctor said, you lose it forever. Yeah. It's blood. It's either it's filled with blood or there's nothing to pass it on there because it's all constricted. One thing about Berger disease is just stop smoking. Yeah. Especially guys with cold hands, they are prone to, you smoke, you're prone to. Means to say that your whole system is not really working well because of blood circulation. But back to this thing about, the PDEA, I'm sure you were already around. Padilla said that during the time of General Santiago, he was here in another event. He said that there are already 4 million Filipinos, 3 million, sorry, addicted. And that was a figure he gave 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, 2.5 to 3 years. My count has not been made public, but I'm nearing the 800 already as they surrender to the barangay, to the police, to the mayors. And I am sure that I will breach the million mark by the end of the year. So with 4 million drug addicts spread all throughout the country, with so many municipal mayors, city mayors, and policemen into it, the industry, what am I supposed to do? This is a matter already of a national security threat. 4 million addicts is 4 million addicts. Also, you want a visual thing about the drug industry? Bigay mo nga sa akin sa Alas Bayid. Para maintindihan, so that you'd understand that this Duterte is a killer. Far from it, actually. I'm trying to preserve my race. God, I'm trying to save my... You want a visual thing? Oh, okay. This is the drug industry of the Philippines. You know what? Is there? Region 10, Mindanao. 70 congressmen there. If you have a good site, one mayor, ex-mayor, another mayor, another mayor. Each page is with a list of names. You know how many is this? 6,000. Mayors and is there Representative Vicente, Mayor Lawrence. Actually, if you want to know more Lawrence of Lanao. Say that you're into a fishing expedition. Of course not. I'm a prosecutor. Look at this person. They're the one, a Caucasian-looking ulul. Luot, general. The one I mentioned it. There are 2 generals here. So, this is the drug industry. Sabi ko nga you worry about the 3,000 dead, a third of them during police encounters. I don't know about the rest. And you do not worry the drug industry, 4 million. And you worry about you're sad about the mayor who was killed inside the cell. And you want to pull down the PNP because the son of a bitch died. A mayor violating his oath of office. He was doing drugs on the western side of Visayas. Odicta, who was also killed with his wife many months ago, was playing the eastern side. I provided the Speaker and the Senate President, and I said, it is beyond me. Even if you give me a carta blanca to kill everybody, then I will run out of bullets and of time. Hindi ko kaya. Were it not for the good soul, a Chinese philanthropist, a billionaire, then I would not have the rehab center. No, let me tell you. They say this Duterte why don't they just put them in a rehab? And what I'd like you to know is that I came into the presidency midterm. I am operating on a budget that was prepared by Aquino the previous year. And so how was he supposed to know that because of their inaction, the industry flourished into millions? So there's nothing there. And everybody, you know that it was a bottoms-up thing. The sloganeering bottoms up. And so what is really left in this building is just enough operating expenses. That's what it is. Bottoms up, we just had an election. So we found so many tractors and everything there. And some of them were not delivered to the beneficiaries. Why? Because the law which allowed them to buy this thing is that the farmers would have to pay 15%. Farmer or Filipino farmer, where will they get the 15%? So I told Piñol, so there are so many tractors. But COA says, sabi ko, never mind COA. COA. So you give that for free. And so we delivered it to Basilan. Never mind COA. I will constricted brains. That's what they have there. Why do you sacrifice the Filipinos just because they cannot pay the 15% and you withhold the this kind of stupidity? So never mind about COA. Just give it to them. So those are the things that were left behind. And bottoms up was bottoms up. Talagang binuhos nila. They use the money of the government. Everybody knows it. And that is always the case. That's why I said I am not pretending to be someone in the Philippines or even in my province, but I will just try to give a respite to the Filipinos. Hindi naman ako tumanggap ng pera, so I can have my way. I didn't receive any, so wala akong utang na loob. Meron pero kukunti. Sunny Dominguez, he does not need it. He has the hotel there to make him happy for the rest of his life. Marco Polo. I don't know if he's stockholder also here. Nawala na. Where is he? I thought so because he was winking at the girl there across the room. Nandyan. You can backbite him because you're allowed to do it. So yan ang I have to do it. And it is not really the ones that for all I know it's a turf war, just like in Lanao. Do you think that the drug that's the largest producer now of drugs? Why? Because Mauti and the rest are fighting it out for just like the cartel. And if you read Ian, forgot he has a good book about South America. And Ian, the new one is there's a sequel to that, and there's a new book. We are already in the state of narco-politics. 2-3 generations ago, nandiyan na, it was already. We were already there. And with the election of the wife of Samson, the portals of the national government opened to the creeping, insidious, and virulent drugs. Imagine, Secretary of Justice running the drug industry inside. Until now, if you want to order, they are now in prison, but they were distributed all throughout the country. It's being run now. That is why the next order was that if there is a cell phone found in the cells of any jail here, you're out. I will fire you. I will fire all of the superiors there. Because the drug industry, just like in America, is run by the inside. They have the contacts. They are the lieutenants. The big ones are already out of the country. There's a big digital map there. And they would just say, in the Paco area or Santa Ana or Tondo, there's this model. You pick it up there and that time. And it's real time. You deliver it there. You get the money from this guy in the corner standing. So how do you fight it? And even China is having a serious problem now with drugs. Yan ang mahirap. They're really having a headache now because, cocaine and heroin, you have to have the puppy. But drugs you can cook it inside your yard. And it's happening now in America. They are realizing it. But for all of the posturings, I really do not know why. Well, in other countries, especially in Rwanda, when they're killing, they were doing the ethnic cleansing here, or just like in the Middle East, wag na lang tayo, let us stop kidding ourselves. They're also doing it for religious purpose. Me, I'm fighting here criminals, all potential users, and if you're a user, you must be a pusher if you are a user. Why? Unless, of course, you're the son of Ayala and Gokongwei. Then you have to have somebody to contaminate to support your, or else the monkey. You have to have the fix of the day. So I'm having a very serious problem here. And I do not have, I said, were it not for that kind of human being of China, I would not have this facility good for 10,000 people. Diyan nakakaawa ang Pilipino. Then they attack me for human rights. You know, in every demonstration, let me tell you frankly, in every demonstration, it's the yellow who's shouting for my ouster. But you will never hear it from the communists. Because I am the president belonging to the left, actually. And everybody would tell you that I was crossing the ideological borders even before I became mayor. Find a policeman or soldiers who was taken hostage there. And they would tell you the person would go there to the mountains to retrieve them. The Reds would never demand my ouster. They will die for me, believe me. That's the reason why I was able to convince them for a talk. There have been, it starts with the good intention, pronouncement, everything, and at the end of the day, it ends with a stalemate. So do not believe in that shit that they will never go for the ouster. Look at their posters. They will just condemn the burial of Marcos. But that was really the line, their lines, their favorite lines, actually, because Marcos was just their enemy. But for those who cannot forget, you are condemned to enjoy your grief until you die. Marcos, when he was buried in Hawaii, the Americans are very strict with that. You cannot go around the law and preserve a body there. It's not allowed. You have to go inside the tomb. Marcos, when the time they got him out there, bring it to the Philippines, already in ashes. Or at the very least, skeletal remains. And by the time that he was buried there in Libingan ng Magani, it's just ashes. So, and they would just put him as a bad guy. My mother led the Yellow Friday movement in Davao City. You can ask everybody and anybody. Sunny will tell you. She was the only one in the plaza bowling at the military because all of the audience were policemen and Philippine constabulary at the time. It was my mother who only stood up and bullshitted them in public. And there were only 4 of them walking the streets of every Friday until it bloomed into something big and eventually the revolution. No? Baka hindi nila alam yan. The Reds would never. And you can go to the mountains and ask the regular armed in PA. And ask them, who's your idol? So, let me disabuse your mind about this. There are actually 2 groups there. The group of the yellow who cannot accept defeat. So they keep on making noises and making contacts with this lady there. I will not mention her name because she's a lady. And she only made it big because she married an American, a black one, millionaire, and she inherited the money. And now she's talking as if she's I said, I would like to, I take your questions, but let me just end my story because I like this adage which he said when he was the President of the United States of America. And he's also one of the few heroes that I have in mind. One is Rizal, my father, then this guy. And he said, if I were to try to read, much less answer all attacks made on me, this shop might as well be closed for any other business. I do the very best I know how, the very best I can, and I mean to keep doing so until the end. If the end brings me out all right, what is said against me won't amount to anything. But if the end brings me out wrong, then angels of God swearing I was right would make no difference. Abraham Lincoln. Great statement left behind. And for me, I just two. There was this saying in the YMCA dormitory. And it's always there, and I've memorized it over time. And he said that, I expect to pass through this world but once. Any good, therefore, that I can do to any fellow creature, let me do it now. Let me not defer or neglect it, for I shall not pass this way again. So for those of the bad guys, putang ina, papatayin ko talaga kayo. Really. For all of the gangster and with the ill intentions of this republic, do not try to fuck it, guys. You lose not only your pants but your life. I will not hesitate. If it is my country, the interest of my country and the people, if it's the one at stake, you can be very sure. I have no doubts in my mind that I know what I should do. The threat of drugs and terrorism is very real. If the ISIS loses the land mass and if they are driven out, they will start to spread around the world. And they've always dreamt of this caliphate in Southeast Asia, and obviously it's Indonesia, Malaysia, and the Philippines because of its Muslim population. I'm not saying the Moros, they do not have anything like that, except the Maute who said that they have pledged allegiance to. Terrorism is very real. And if finally the ISIS is defeated, it will just sprout everywhere, just like any revolution, because it's a dialogue. What happened before in Malaysia, many never got it really correct. What happened in the southern states, including Mindanao, no, Malaysia, na, there was this resurgence of Moro nationalism because they are the originals there in Mindanao. When Magellan said arrive, Mindanao was already 100 years ahead. At my postisla, there was a post in the fight against imperialism, the Spaniards and the Americans. Islam was their rallying point. So that thing there is not new. It's not really a rebellion of, it's the resurgent Moro nationalism. It was their land. So that you have to make concessions. Now believe me, the barest minimum would be really federalism. And mark my word, I would not be here for all the time. If we do not adopt federalism, there is no way that peace can be attained in Mindanao, now or in the future. That's why those who are resisting federalism, because you want to maintain the unitary type, which is actually a structure for despots and kings and authoritarianism. And I don't know why the Americans, when they left us in 1946, coming from a federal country, did not give it to us. Was it because of the parity rights which they were interested? Because it was attached in that constitution that the Americans would enjoy the same privileges to exploit and develop natural resources, just like a Filipino. Or it was really with the good intentions, and we are an island separated from one another, 7,000 of it actually. It would be good to have a strong president. But if I may suggest, I'm telling you now, and you have my word, if they can come up next year or the sooner, whatever, 2-3 years from now, my term is 6 years. But if they can craft a constitution creating a federal setup, a country, and providing for a strong president, just like the type which France has, then I am willing to step down without waiting for the 6 years. Because then I said you would need a president. It is not good for a pure parliamentary type, just like in Britain, because it is not responsive at this time. Remember, the double-decker was blown up by the ISIS, maybe at that time already. Britain at that time could hardly move because of a parliament, and it's a collegial body and a collegial decision. So the prime minister could not even say a statement of why, where, how. It's not good. You know, in times of, you have to have a strong president, I said. A federal type, a strong president. You might want to just give him a few of the powers. 5 powers, but strong one. To dissolve the parliament, create a call for a constitution, be the commander-in-chief of all armed forces. Because you need it at this time in our life. And maybe 2 additional powers. But always there has to be a strong leader at this time. Cannot be a parliament or something which you have to discuss after. Belongs to one man. And it's all commander-in-chief. That is what I am advocating. But for me, I said, I told Senate President Pimentel, and they were here during the National Security meeting, Speaker, go ahead, make it fast. And if you can create that model 2 or 3 years, I will step down as President of this Republic. No problem. No problem at all. I said that. That's why I said, for those who are asking for my ouster, do not dream about it. Eventually, I will. If you do not like me, go for the federal type, and you are freed of my presence in government. I'd like that thing to disabuse the minds of the people and to remember it. I have no illusions at all. I'm good at this time already. When I go back there, I have to ride in that motorboat. I live in the small house there just across. I do not stay here because I said they do not, the ghosts here do not wait for nighttime and darkness. They are there even in daytime, as early as 8 o'clock in the morning. And if I stay at I don't know where it is, you just might feel that someone is beside you. If it's a white lady, I will willingly oblige. The problem is when we begin to chat, there's a Caucasian there, because the one stage there were the Spaniards and the Americans. You can find a man with the bird with the pipe in his mouth, and that would be scary. Most of the presidents here in the past were the Spaniards and the Americans. And there's somewhere these states where the mother of our national hero begged the Spaniard governor general at the time to spare his son's life. There's a place there where she knelt down and cried and pleaded for mercy. National hero natin. But the only thing about her is the memory. Otherwise, it's all wood. It's not a palace, actually. It's full of rooms there and there. But I'm glad that you have had the chance to visit me or the palace for the first time, whichever is convenient to you. To see me first or the palace, it's okay, but that is my story to you tonight. Thank you, and good night. Especially important questions of the day. Maybe the burning questions of the day. But the Constitution, I am ready to reverse the 60-40. As long as Congress is also ready, I will go along with it. But you know, there is something which is really it's a fundamental, reconcilable difference with me and some of the congressmen. Because even the speaker before, who was my political enemy, already agreed to sell lands to foreigners. I am sorry, but I am not ready for that kind of.
But I see
You know, because. I said, most of the Filipinos are poor. And with the growing economy of the super giant China and the rest, you know, they can always come here and buy the land. And they can buy the whole of Tondo and relocate. And we end up with nothing and everything sold. So paano tayo? In the future, would be standing or living on a lot of a subdivision owned by a foreigner. At this time of our financial life and civilization, you can easily sell the land, even for a pittance. It would come to other people almost as free. And then what happens? Where will I go? If everything is already owned. Even if you say it's agricultural land, they can gobble it up. Even if you say that there's a term, distill, and there would be a time where we would have lost control over the lands. Yes, Peter.
Yeah, well, I agree with you on the changes in the Constitution. I think they're very important. What timing do you see to be able to achieve it, realistically, given a Congress that doesn't know how to do anything?
You know, given my term, 6 years, still very early, I can afford a constitutional convention. But just the same, everybody who has the money will prevail. And those who have the money will prevail. And you still have a convention that's really full of vested interest. Wala kang makuha dito because mahirap nga. Given the electoral experience of our country, we have not matured politically. And in an election, those who have the money and the connection and those who are the relatives of the incumbent congressman would still prevail. The wife, the daughter, the son again. And we will have almost a feudal setup ready to come up with a constitution. And to me, I would rather that maybe not me, but almost a commission of 7 justices or a mix of the lawyers. Ben Lopez could be one. And a commission, and they would write a proposal, a draft of the Constitution, and it will be submitted, the final draft would be submitted to Congress to debate on that. But never to change the things that you'd want. Because there is one contentious issue. If you call for a change in the Constitution, it's you open the floodgate. You cannot not control what matters to be changed, what are modified. But if they are ready to honor that we only change, put it off to some other time, the other items there, if they are willing, concentrate on the economic provisions. Maybe, I said, the equity can be increased to reverse 60-40 or 70 if it's a foreign corporation. But to sell the land, I will not. For the life of me, I will not agree to that. I will lose my country to foreigners.
Well, let's leave out the land, but at least on the other issues, and particularly for me, public utilities, I see no reason we can't have 100% foreign ownership and control and operation of toll
I'm
road
ready
or
to do
whatever
it. Just pay the taxes and get the profits and go away after. But I'm more of the opportunity for Filipinos, Peter. Tungbot. That is my purpose. You build something here, and there has to be something that moves economically, and for me, it's all right. As long as people, the worry here is unemployment. Actually, it's not because of how much would you invest there or not. I'm ready to let go, but except selling of lands.
Can we get it? Can we get it done for plebiscite in 2019? Do you think?
Now, let me just put it this way. If you do it 2017, maybe 19. So 19, 20, 21.
For the midterm election, we could have a plebiscite to change the constitution at that time while we have the midterm election.
Yes.
Yeah,
Can't be done.
we could do that?
We could do that, yes,
Yeah,
possible.
okay.
I have no objection to it.
Okay, does somebody have a question they'd like to raise? Don't feel frightened, he's not going to kill you, I don't think. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Richard, there's a microphone here they just brought in if you'd like to get up behind you. And just say who you are and company, please. Slowly and carefully, because, you know, when you're in your 70s, it's a little difficult to always hear everything properly.
Mr. President, my name is Richard Barclay. I'm with Manila North Harbour.
Can you please move a little bit? You
Closer.
can bend your head or bring it up.
Is that better?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's better.
My name is Richard Barclay. I'm from Manila North Harbour. I'd just like to ask Mr. President, there was the talk about reducing monopolies, duopolies, and allowing people to choose the most efficient way of moving their products or goods or transport into and out of the country or within the country. Seems not to be moving as fast as what it could be, even though there are some laws in place. I wondered what your thoughts were on, which you mentioned some time ago when we spoke
Yes,
several months ago. Yeah.
the only way to have these things cheaper, actually, electric and telecommunications, is to open up for competition. So you'll just do away with monopoly in the sense that you allow other players outside to enter into the picture. And that would lower everything, including energy. I'm sure of that. I'm not trying to, Rodrigo used to be the vice president of Globe, but he's now a cabinet member, so his interest is for the people. I am ready to open these things about public utilities, especially energy and technology.
I think the issue with Richard is that there are two operators in Manila Port, and one of them controls all the cargo, and the other is not allowed to control cargo. So it can't handle cargo even though it has the capability to do so.
Yes. We'll have, I said, competition.
Yeah.
But you must have something there also big enough to accommodate all players. That is why, for example, whatever it is in the import-export business or in the handling of the arrest and everything, you have to have something bigger than what you have now. But I said, if you open everything to competition, and even the building of new wharf here, wharf there, and allow competition to come in, it would surely redound to the benefit of the ultimate beneficiaries, and that is the Filipino people.
Somebody else have a question?
I'm ready for that.
Can we get a question, please? Everybody too scared? Craig, you want to say something about the IT BPO industry? Because I think that's a major problem or worry today. I don't think it is a real worry, but I think it's a perceptual worry. Perhaps you can explain that.
Mr. President, I'm Craig Rhines with Sitel.
Which is a big IT call center business.
We work in the business process outsourcing industry. And we've been lucky enough to have opportunities to meet and understand some of your views on the development of the industry in the Philippines, its importance to the growth of jobs, and especially in the provinces. Have had an opportunity to speak a little bit with Secretary Sal Lima this evening as well as with Director General Plaza. One of the biggest concerns that our clients have right now is something going to change? Is the Is the administration going to change the policies, the investment incentive structures? Will there be will there be some sort of a change in the development and the ability to continue to develop the industry that may spook or create concern from some of our investors?
Forget your fears. This is a democracy. We follow the free enterprise. There will be changes. There will be changes for the better, not to kill businesses. You can stop worrying. It's actually a product of the other side, creating. They would like to create an economic situation whereby there will be a tilt of balance there somewhere and destroying the economy and blame it on me. I am a lawyer, and I believe in free enterprise. I believe in democracy. That's why I run for president. I'm duty bound by the Constitution. And about the outsourcing there, I would even guarantee to you that the Philippines would honor its contractual obligations. Unlike the previous administrations, they were known for the notoriety of not honoring contracts or bending the rules. It will not happen during my term. I assure you, it will not happen. Bending the rules for in favor of somebody, that's bullshit again. This is a free enterprise. You can come in, invest, and do not worry about, well, of course, taxes, but that is not a matter within me. It's Congress who fixes how much you pay. But if it's a matter of erasing you from this place, I'm encouraging you to place more. Davao City is one place where there's a great activity of outsourcing, especially BPO. Forget it. Do not believe in that garbage. I am not that. I am not that stupid. They would like to picture me as one, but I'm brighter than them. You know why? Because if they are brighter than me, then they are now here in Malacanang lording it over.
I take it a little bit further. In fact, on contract violations by the last administration, President Duterte has already ordered his cabinet to correct all those violations of the last cabinet, of the last administration. So those contracts will be corrected, and I think this is a very positive step. Karen, you had...
We will honor contracts. You can bet on it. With my life, not yours, actually.
I think we need your life to stay around, if you don't mind.
So, Mr. President, I'm
Yes, ma'am.
Karen Batungbakal de Venecia, and I'd like to thank you. I'm on the board of the BPO organization called ITBPAP, and thank you very much for all your support. You wrote a wonderful letter of support for our industry, which we announced during our October summit, and we truly appreciate the support of both Secretary Dominguez, Secretary Lopez, and Secretary Salanima of DICT, who at any time have been very willing to answer questions, engage with us, work with us. Secretary Pernia as well. We thank your government for continuing to support us. So,
Yes,
and we do look forward to bringing more jobs here. So, and to all the parts of the world, so of the Philippines. Thank you very much po.
Come on, guys. I'm sure you know somebody from Davao. And you must know that how vibrant the industry is in Davao. I said I was mayor for 22 years. I'm not pulling my own chair, but I would say that I'm one of those who made what Davao is today. The growth rate, it's 9%, the highest. So why would you drive away investors if? Do not believe in that garbage. Always there's the Constitution, and we would follow contractual obligations. I will not condone bending of the rules. That's a thing which I will never do. I assured you there is no graft and corruption tell me, I said, you have Peter here as the conduit, if I may use the word, and just tell me what happened. Or you have Lopez there, you have Rudy, and just tell them the truth, the plain truth, and I will take care of it. Or if you do not like the secretary, or if you do not want to talk to those people because of a bad experience in the past, you give me your application. And I said, I will run it. I will run the grid for you.
Another question, please? Yes, David.
David Strawn, New Zealand Ambassador. Mr. President, it was a pleasure to have you in Auckland a few weeks ago. Hope you come back. And it was also a great pleasure for me to be in your hometown in Davao a few weeks ago. I stayed there for 5 whole days, and I sensed a tremendous amount of dynamism in your economy, and it was great to get to know the people of Davao. So, you know, you've done a tremendous job there. Well done. But I'd like to ask you about a really big year next year when you'll be the chair of ASEAN. What do you hope to achieve in that year, and what's your impression so far of ASEAN? Thank you.
Well, one thing is that we lack the connectivity. We have to have our own BIMP IAGA. We have to create an economy over there. The reason why the Abu Sayyaf really prospered is simply there was a time when there was this barter trade and nobody was messing up with it. Of course, the organized crime there were done by some people in the government, especially policemen. That's why there was this thing about a firefight, and the General Battaglia was killed there because somebody went up to his but he was a policeman. And this barter trade was good. It provided livelihoods to many people, especially the Moro. But what was wrong was that there was some control and monopoly in the flow of goods there because of corruption of the police. So the Philippine Constabulary, and they are up to this kind of thing. You know, the policemen, not so much about the army, because the army does not exercise, it does not enforce the laws. They are just in the camp and they go out with the permission of the camp commander. So they're less worried about army. But police, they go out there every night to enforce the law. And because of maybe, do you know that the entry pay of the police everywhere is 14,000? That's the entry fee. That's the salary. So what I did is I doubled the salary. They will be the first to, they'll get it maybe in trans, but I intend to complete it by, if I have the money and if I can borrow somewhere, the only way to really improve them is to double their pay. And I promised them, and they would have it little by little. Next year they would have a bit of an increase here and there in the allowances and everything. Because you cannot do it with one stroke you have to worry about the other police, Coast Guard and everything. But they are included. But how about the teachers? How about the the workers, agricultural workers and everything? I cannot cope up with the present financial standing of the government. But I just made it a priority so that I can stop the corruption of the police. 30% of the police workforce corrupt. That's my headache. That's why you have to deal with them, because you do not have the money. You have to deal with them with an attitude. And I said that if you are the ones into drugs, I will just have to kill you. You'll be the one to go first. You will be the one to go first. And a lot of them have lost their lives since then, here during my administration. But, you know, if it is really a matter also of extrajudicial killing, I'd like to inform you. Papel na. You know, in Mindanao, where shabu is being cooked incessantly 24 hours a day, I've declared a state of lawlessness to justify the entry of the armed forces to mix it up with the police and exercise police power. If it is really a judicial, extrajudicial killing, I have members of the police killed in police operations, 30. Wounded, 60 severely. The armed forces, because it's in Lanao, people that are well armed. Killed in action, it's 58. Then the wounded is 256. So if it's extrajudicial killing, how come I'm losing this many of my policemen and soldiers? To think extrajudicial killing is just simply tie his hands and shoot him. Or just in a casual manner, ask him and shoot him in the head. I have lost government men. And they would always saying that it's about extrajudicial killing. At least it's not my cup of tea, killing people. Marami akong namatayan. Just give you the figure. That's why you see me on TV lying there and there, everywhere, to just visit the wake of these guys to show my solidarity. And every time they're wounded, I fly to Holo and Basilan to pin on them the Medal of Valor. So that's
I think one of the things that's driving us mad is the traffic situation.
yes.
And you have asked Congress for emergency powers
Ayaw eh.
to bypass a lot of the bureaucratic restrictions to getting infrastructure built quickly. But Congress is acting like the usual bloody idiots that they are, and they're not moving fast. How can you convince them to do so?
I do not know what got the goat of some people there, but they do not like Tugadi.
I do.
I mean, he's good, but he's
He's a good man.
He's the valedictorian of our
Yeah.
class. He's really
Yeah.
good. He was the top honcho of the Delgado shipping while we were still students.
Yes.
He was already a top executive of the Delgado shipping. And it's very good. He's a very structural mind.
Jesus.
I don't know about this, but they do not want, maybe they share the agony, they enjoy. It's called political masochism.
Maybe he's too clean.
Yeah. They're not.
Maybe too clean, huh? Maybe can't be influenced.
So there's no movement at all. And I'm sorry to say to the Filipinos, we are trying. We want to borrow money because we need money to improve things there down on the road level. But we haven't been getting any positive. So I talked with some of the Chinese businessmen representing their government. And they say that, maybe we'd give you a soft loan of 25 years and renewable for another 25 years with a grace period of almost 7 years. And it's, I said, if those are the terms, it's actually giving it free. And China, I think, I think the attitude of China is really to help. So whatever there is to it, I will just on face value and say thank you and please give it to us. I have lost hope of getting the money from Congress to allow us to borrow, and I said I'm not really sure why But the reason, some do not like Tugadi, but he's a very good person. He's just business-like. He talks like an executive. But I said we were still students. He was already the Delgado brothers, almost the CEO at the time.
I agree entirely. Somebody else have a question? Yes, Joey. Hmm.
Yeah, then, Amina, you're next. Yes, sir. Governor Levestin?
Good evening, Mr. President. Mr. President, I'll use three personalities.
Who are you?
Oh, sorry, Mr. President. I'm Joey Leviste. I'm chairman of Oceana Gold Philippines. Number one, I'd like to just thank you, Mr. President, for your call for responsible mining, for your balanced policy on mining, and Mr. President, that your standards are that of Australian and Canadian mining companies.
Canada, yes.
And thank you for that, Mr. President. And we trust that the DNR will follow your guidance.
Okay. Now, you don't have any problem with Gina if that is the standard you follow. Ang problema kay Gina, she has not gotten the nod of the Commission on Appointments. And I don't know, still have so many ubial. I'm just thankful that they were not rejected outright. They were just bypassed. In Congress, if you're rejected, then that is the end of your career with government.
So
Ito
you know
naman
where to
si
look.
Gina, but I am sure that we will be reasonable. My office is always receptive to any abuse of authority, or if we exceeded the normal limitations of our discretion. But I will see to it that everything is fair. And if we can follow the Canadian or Australian practice, then nothing is, well, probably it would make a lot of holes in the land, and somehow there has to be a trade-off there. There is always the downside about mining. Oh, we can never neglect anything there to say that no damage has been done. To a certain extent, there is always, if you're trying to dig either up or down, there has to be some, well, of course, in the washing. If you guys have been there in the Walwal, and you should visit it, for one, just to see a tourist attraction there. The water, after if it gets out of the washing machines there, it's actually black. Not brown, but black. So one day, I think somebody should decide to just, but you know, there are about already almost 150,000 people there, scattered around the mountains of the provinces of Davao Oriental and Caraga, and even as far as Agusan. If you ride on a helicopter, a low-flying machine, you'd see that it's almost the cup of Coca-Cola. It's placed there, full of holes until, but in Davao City, early on, I stood my ground and said, I will not allow mining in my city. My daughter, who's now the mayor, and who has been mayor at one time in the past, she's all very strict about environment, and she does not want any mining. And I respect her decision, because I was the one also who stood my ground when there was this application. I said, no, not in my city. You know why? It's not because of the whatever you distract her, because it's money. It's because I do not like the way doing it in North Davao. It's the survival of what's the number of arms, who are you, general of this unit, and it's all armed there. Who has the men and the arms would prevail. And they would just go outright and confiscate a holder and a holder. No he, no ha. I said, you cannot do it here in Davao, because I will not allow it. I do not allow oppressors to rule the day. in my city.
Mr. President, we also want to thank you for your appointment of DNR Undersecretary Louis Jacinto. He's been very positive in helping us in the industry, and we think he's a perfect appointment of the President.
I don't know about, Gina, because she has her own mind. I would not want to intrude into her ambit of set of whatever. Jacinto was a Bureau of Mines director for Region 11, to which my...
Yes.
Then I got him because of Chito Ayala. He was working for Chito, and I said, Chito said that, get this guy, he's very brilliant. Actually, Jacinto is a valedictorian, UPian. He's very bright. And he's coveted by some of the, but he has, thank God he has chosen to serve the people. Many corporations there wanted him, to get him to work for them. But he successfully able to. That guy is from UP. He graduated valedictorian. I think he says.
I'd like to consider. I'd like to consider splitting the DENR because I see a real conflict there. We should have a Department of Environment responsible for ensuring that the environment of the country is well looked after, and a Department of Natural Resources to look after the development and control of the mining
business.
and natural resources industries. Two separate departments, because at the moment you're doing one thing against the other. It's a conflict.
Well, it's a very long story, but someday I'll tell you how it happened. I am not saying that she's not qualified. What I'm saying that what led me to get her into the government service is this. While I was a president and waiting for my inauguration, Gina came to me almost 4 times in the temporary office which I was holding for a while. And she would go there so late, but 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, because I was entertaining all sorts of people. And he would open her laptop and said, look, Mr. President-elect, you should, when you become a president, look at the spillage there, look at the deterioration, look at the rice fields. And I said, I agree, because it's visual. I said, okay. Then one day she would go there with a group, and then she would open the laptop. Oh, Mr. President, may I remind you not to, no, do not forget about this thing. New pictures taken all over the country. Third, same story, and we used to, there was a time we talked until 6 o'clock in the morning, really, even if you ask her. So the 4th time, I was really tired. And she was also showing me again new pictures. And they were all true. I agree, because they were real photographs. I mean, real time in the sense that they were taken contemporary times. But I was so sleepy. I said, Mom, you might want to be the secretary of DNR para this can be. I made the proposal without really, not even a single na tatanggapin niya that she would accept it. Imagine Gina Lopez of ABS-CBN, and the other criticizing and also, promoting vested interest. Let us be honest with ourselves. Said, really, Rudy? I said, yes, because there were still the guards still there, and a lot of people waiting for their turn. And I said, yes, because I never thought it would happen, But I'm not saying that she's not qualified. What I'm saying that it was a far-fetched idea of her accepting the position. But yes, of course. And I don't want to embarrass her. Mapahiya eh. Yes. Siya, okay, I'll consult my family and I would let you know. The following day, kaagad, ora mismo, she called Bong. And she said, Bong, you tell the mayor that my family agreed for me to work in government. Putang. Tinanggap. Kasi pumayag raw, the family agreed that she would work in government. Sabi ko, ha? Patay na. So when she was hitting right or left, but I mean, she was not also exceedingly abusive. But there were times when I had to whisper to her that, so then they're still, bago lang. So when you are developing, you are not developed yet, as yet, to mine. But she would listen. But sadly, when she was bypassed again, and I do not think that she'd ever get the confirmation. I don't know about this ubial of the health. Marami pang hindi pa na ano dyan. But Gina, in the meantime, let us just concede good faith on her. But this is really in good faith. But as to, I hope she would listen to Jacinto. Jacinto worked for me as my Sinro. That's the counterpart of the DNR in the city government. For almost 20 years. I said I've been mayor for 23 years. All along, she was at one time I transferred him to the city's engineering office just to place things in order. But he's very good. He is really very good and he's very knowledgeable. And he used to write my speeches, policy speeches. I said he's good here. I got him because he was also, and I brought him to the national. Sayang, it's sad that people there upstairs do not know his, or does not know his, Diana does not know her capacity, the capacity of the guy to work. He knows his business. He started with the Bureau of Mines as director. Fingertips niya yung mining, fingertips. He's that good. Geologist yan sa UP.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Mina?
Thank you, sir. Salamat ho.
May I help you? You're raising your hand?
In the past couple of 100 years, we've gone through an industrial revolution which has completely changed the world. And we're entering now into the IT revolution, which is going to change the world even more.
I have a very competent Rudy here.
That's what I'm getting to.
So,
We have here the Secretary of DICT, a totally new department with a totally new mandate to completely computerize the government services and to develop the private sector in IT. Now, I don't want to take away from your time tonight because we've invited the Secretary in January to speak to us, and he will. But
you
I'd
might
just
want
like
to
to
have
get-
him also.
So I'd just like to get very quickly from you, if you agree that this has got to be one of the major sectors for the Philippines to develop in the next 6 years.
Yes, Amina. How are you?
Yeah, Amina.
Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, sir, you mentioned about the national security concerns. And first of all, I just wanted to say that we have been proposing that when the Philippines chairs ASEAN, we should really have a conference on prevention of violent extremism. Singapore has had it already. Malaysia has had it. Indonesia. And I think this time around, let's really look at ways to prevent, because you're right. When they're here already and you counter it, that's too late. So we need to stop and make our communities more resilient. Yes. But the question I wanted to ask you, sir, since we are going to be chairing ASEAN, and it's the 50th year of ASEAN, what are we going to do with the BIMP IAGA initiative, which was intended to be one of our drivers but which has sort of slept in the last 6 years.
It has to be trade and commerce.
Yes.
Oh, that's all about it. You know, we open the connectivity. There is none at all at present time. We have to improve in it, and when it is there, you can take advantage of how we can improve our trade relations with everybody. There will be a lot of discussions there of the products and of course what you are selling. But what I would like to stress is that I mention it in passing because when the trade, the barter was still there were no Abu Sayyafs.
None.
And it was when the government chose to close it, yun nagka-letse-letse na ang the time that we were facing so many banditry, plain banditry. But I promised the people in there in Holo, whenever I'm there, I said that I will we'll talk. The only way to prevent extremism that would get hold and become really profound is to win the people there and for them to just say that, you know, hindi talaga tama yan. And I'm sure that we can do a lot of. So, that's why I said you have to open opportunities for them also to. Because it's useless, not to be talking about improving their lives and, you know, avoid extremism without really doing something positive there.
Right.
They would still say, ganon pa man. So just like in Lanao, it's there itong ISIS talaga, they have raised the flag. So, for that group pula na ako. But the others, sabi ko, huwag kayong magsali dyan because it is danger for everybody. It's a red flag for trouble for all times. I do not think that ISIS will disappear in the next 5 to 7 years. And there will be trouble as well. The pronounced position of the extremists was to establish a caliphate.
Yes.
So that area is very, you know, a fertile ground for terrorists. As a matter of fact, we have 5 now. It's led by a Malaysian guy and 3 Indonesians and I think another Malaysian. Sila yung nagko-conduct ng mga lectures and doctrinization about. That's why there's this raucous about occupying a government structure.
Yes.
Eventually, they were out by the time the sunset, but now they are demanding, they are even terrorizing by saying that they would burn. You must be crazy. You're trying to burn a Muslim
Narawi.
city, a Moro city. That's a headache actually, but I'm trying my very best. That is why I'm first to be rehab. There is your hospital
Yes.
in Hulo and in Basilan. I've been there twice already.
And we'd like
In
to thank you,
Basilan.
sir.
Hulo, very often because whenever there are a lot of wounded, I go there just to visit them also.
So, sir, palalakasin ho natin ng BIMP Iaga.
Yan talagang dapat. So it should be a thing that to have to develop in front of the ASEAN
sir.
summit.
Yes, sir.
And the trade that which was include Cambodia, as far as Cambodia, that's why I'm going there tomorrow just to talk about, hey guy, are you still interested in, because it has to be an inclusive thing for the ASEAN. It should include all.
Maraming salamat po.
No problem.
And another question? Yes, Philip.
Hello. Philip Say, F1 Hotel Chairman. I have 3 things I'd like to say thank you to you. First is you are our savior for the drug menace. I congratulate you. Please continue with your good work. The second is
Be careful because I'll be competing with Jesus Christ. Turn down a little bit. I'm just working. Actually, I'm just doing my duty. That's all.
no, I think you save us from this drug menace. I sincerely believe that. The second thing is I'd like to say thank you to you is because we just successfully concluded a global investment forum with your support and also for about 50 speakers. Half of them is a government official. We have 600 visitors visited our forum. And one of the top speakers is Mr. Peter Wallace. He's one of our speakers.
He's the most in demand, actually.
The-
Moderator, planner, whatever you want him to be, he can fit into any of those categories.
The third thing is I took up your challenge. In the last 6 months, I prepared 5 project study. I submitted to you tonight. It's with your secretary,
Okay.
Bongo. And the first one is Benham Rice opportunity. The second one is moving national office from Manila to Lucena. The third project is one-stop shop for DA using FDI. The fourth project is one-stop shop for DA using Smoky Mountain. And the last one is Foreign Investment Authority. So I prepared 5 project study. It's about this thing. If you have chance, please look
That's
at
it?
it. Yeah, five. I really
Presidents don't
sincerely I
have
like
time to look at that
I
thing.
really sincerely I like to help your government. I spend time and effort in doing it. I think it will be helpful.
Okay.
And the last thing, I pity you with your headache, but I'm just recommending you, because I study acupuncture, I think acupuncture can stop your headache and your nerve headache. They can stop the nerve pain. Please try the Chinese doctor acupuncture. I recommend them.
Actually, thank you. But I want to be cured, but not to be cured.
Yeah.
I save more time. Just I cannot turn my head anymore. So
I guarantee you.
I
it will be
can
fixed.
save time by just looking at the lady there, but not.
Because the acupuncture is they cut the nerve. They stop the. They can
Yeah.
stop the pain. Huh? They can stop you coughing by just simple putting needle on your hand.
What are you
stop
doing
coughing.
here? Demonstrating it the wrong way.
Yeah.
Do not open your finger. Here.
I think red
Not
wine
here because
works
you
better.
might.
One time I have heavy coughing.
Oh.
They put it. They put
Delicado
needle
yan.
here. It was able to stop the coughing.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
somebody.
please try.
Somebody
Please try.
advised me to
Yeah. All right.
consider it. I will.
Thank you.
Yeah. We're running.
And the thick paper, the thick, that's why I said I hired bright guys to read it for me. Sunny and the IT manager would do it for me. They will make the recommendation.
I like to just mention to the President that we had a round table, we call them round tables, in early December, and we asked them, the members here, what they thought of you, and 73% thought you were doing a pretty good job. That means what? 27 thought maybe you weren't doing such a good job, you need to be tougher.
Do not come back here if that is the score that you gave me.
So are you going to be even tougher?
I need better, you have to find a way to increase the score, guys. I'm governing this country to help you, really. I said this is this is democracy, this is a free enterprise. The Constitution is almost copied verbatim from the Constitution of the United States. So in all of the interpretations there, we rely on the interpretation of the courts of, especially in mercantile law, commercial law.
One of the other things that we asked was, are you continuing with expansion plans and investments despite the negative publicity that's gone out overseas? The answer was overwhelmingly yes. And I was talking to Jacques Reber of Nestle a little earlier. Jacques, you have some substantial investments you're going to put into this country in the next few years, right?
Yes, you have to be, you should know better. You're a businessman, you do research, and from where I came from, you might want to also to ask a few questions there. I do not have a record of wrecking businesses. But I'm strict on, for example, it's the lifeblood of the nation, taxes. Just pay your taxes and you can forget the BIR. Truly. I don't even want them delving into your records. If your accountant is right and he computes correctly, forget about the BIR. And the customs. I said, if you have some importations and you have problems there, you just call me and I'll. I agree. Anyway, the customs have collected more than their quota for this year. And you have the Faildon, who used to stage immunity there in Makati. Just pay your taxes and forget about BIR and harassment. Nobody will. Not during my watch. I do not like oppression. And that goes for everybody. I do not like people in government asking money. I said that is why I doubled the salaries of the soldiers and the policemen. All you have to do is just to assert, no, you don't ask anything from me. I ask everything from you to work for government. And that's it. And if you need to talk to, just talk to Sunny, to Peter, the IT secretary. So that's the business now. It's technology, and you have Sunny, Peter, the guardian. Not me. I am not. She said, "Thank you for being a guardian, Jesus Christ." Please. I'm just working. You have me in your pocket because you pay my salary. That's it. It ends there. So you might want to start standing up. It's about 11:40.
Your breakfast time, I think.
I still have to pack, Peter.
Yes.
No.
What
P.
time are you leaving?
PA, huh?
Yeah.
It's not the F1. Pack.
Yes.
I
Yes. I caught it quite well.
I do not have anybody there at the other side. It's a lonely place, actually. That's the advice I said. If we are given to go back in the hands of time, my family is there. My daughter does not want to study here. There is the Holy Spirit, I told her. I showed her the place, but she does not want it. So the mother stays with her daughter, and the other one stays there with me. So I have a visitor there always, because it's a terrible thing to die alone in bed. If you suffer heart attack, nobody would shout for help. So that is a tragedy. So you must have somebody to shake you and are you still alive? But it's a very lonely crossing every day. Every day. And it's a new, almost a tugboat there. It looks like a tugboat to me. Newly painted only. So I would like to say, I'd like to talk to you until morning time. I'm used to it. The only problem is our flight is for Cambodia is on, but there are still seats available. And if you guys want to hop in, you're free to. If you have the passport and of course, the visa, you can ride with me. They always lent me the newest plane.
Yeah. They better.
The last time they gave me the 777. It was a sleek plane, fast one. But that would be the last, actually, in long trips like Peru. And you know why? So there was this awful criticism about me, that I was not there. I asked CSI to stand in for me. I was there. I attended the meetings, actually. Do not believe those idiots there outside. But you know, Obama was there. And because we had an exchange of words, I was just trying to avoid an awkward situation. I would not know if he would accept my gesture of a handshake or me deliberately getting out of the way to avoid him. And you can tell it by just looking at the body language of people. You would know. And because I did not want to create a scene, an awkward situation, I just stayed on the sidelines. That's the truth. I was avoiding an awkward situation, especially an international awkward behavior. So deliberately, I just I said to them, you think. I did not have a bum stomach, do not believe it. That was just an excuse, but really I avoided it. I would not know how to react if he would just push my hand. Because we had a very hot exchange of, I said, of words. And mind you, do not believe in this. If you want to, they keep on harming on criminal liability about the International Criminal Court. You know, the United States State Department, the Office of the President of the United States, keep on mentioning about extrajudicial killing, using a term there, when after all, America is not a member of the International Criminal Court. Russia just pulled out recently, and 5 days ago?
Yep.
They got out of and Russia was correct. We spent billions of the people's money because we are contributors. And they were only, for the time that they were there, for the longest time, they only came up with 4 verdicts, and it was the amount of 1 billion was spent. So what? 4 verdicts. There was one who was acquitted, actually, but 2 years ago. 1 billion was spent, and they came up only with 4 verdicts. What a way to spend the people's money. You might as well prosecute him in his own court, because he's a criminal, like me. If you think that I did something wrong, I'm a criminal, then, file it in the ombudsman. I think there's a charger by Matubato. Anyway, this is the democracy. You're entitled to be a fool once in a while. But again, I would like to thank you for your presence. And if there's a need, if there's a disturbing need, development that would come up that would affect you, you're free to come back here, and we'll talk again. I'll take care of the dinner. I'll answer for it. But not really it's a people's money. I've ordered, it's already 1 viand, 1 soup, and 1.
Yeah.
Is that what was served?
Yes.
1 viand, 1 rice, 1 soup. But, and I'm the only guy, when I was there. Peter. First day, I noticed that everything was lighted up and the air condition was on. I said, hey, why are you not putting off the lights? Why is there, it's cold, it's nighttime. It's always been that way. No. Even I said, put out the lights. You can only have a lampshade in the sala there. You can go there. I mean, I'm not saying that they were wasteful, but if that was the practice, then that was not good. All the lights on, just because you are part of the palace. It's not good. People are hungry, and even if you say it will not make a dent, still the principle behind it is not good. So I said, every light should be put off, and give the free souls here to walk around in darkness. Nobody is here. And maybe the guards. So that's how it is. I'd like to thank you again and see you next time. Peter?
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.